Okay, hi. So today we are going to discuss complete knowledge on array, right? Okay. So I think already you have aware of arrays, right? So we have discussed like basics of array, like why array is required and how array is created, right? So the basic understanding you have achieved, right, from array. So it's very huge concept and maximum like in any interview when you go, like you will face one problem and array. Okay, generally all the interviewer will focus on array and string object. So these are the areas which they mostly focus on, like when they wanted to check your logical skills and all, like when how the way you are solving the problem. So based on that skills, like they will try to check you on the arrays. So they'll try to check you on array, string, objects, and other operations as well, but mainly they'll focus on array. So one problem from array you will be getting in interview. Okay, so let's discuss today array. So as we have already discussed, like array, we can create array using like a square bracket, and then we can add some elements and all. And array has the same name, right? And it has the index. So the index denotes like it keeps all the element in ordered manner, right? Like in zeroth position, in one position, second position. So all are in ordered manner, right? So all those things we have discussed already in array, right? So now we are going to check complete like operations on array, like what are the things are available in array. Like see, basically detail regarding the elements, like how we can add element to the array, how we can delete element from the array, how we can search respective element inside the array, whether it is present or whether it is not present. And we'll discuss regarding the length, how we can modify the array based on the length, what are the properties like available, what are the methods, like there are huge methods available. So these are all the methods which help you to manipulate on the array. Okay, so manipulate on the array. So anything if you want to do on the array, you need all these methods to be remembered, and you have to understand very properly like why these methods are required. Of each method, their syntax you have to understand, their usage you have to understand, and what effect it is bringing to the array. So whether if you are trying to operate some methods on the array, whether it is affecting to the main array or not. Sometimes what happens, so like when we try to operate something, it might affect to the original array, but it might not affect to the original array. So those all things we have to keep on mind. Okay, because of that only we'll further in our classes we'll do so many things. Like if you don't have the proper knowledge on which method returns what, which method is modifying the array, which method is trying to bring some changes to the array, so based on that only we will try to get the things. Okay, and that denotes like how experienced you are in solving the problems or solving the problems on the array. Okay, so that we are going to check. So I think first slide is a similar slide which we have gone through. So it's a similar, right? So array we have checked and we have created array. So these are the syntax, like you can create an array using element and all, and each element will be kept in one of the index, right? So index starts from 0. And some more things we have studied about array means array can store any number of data, like data type, right? So it can store a number, it can store a string. So we'll discuss further classes what is string all about. Boolean, null, undefined, even the function also is a part of like element. Okay, so as an element it can store in the array. So all those things are there, right? So in the array. So to access array element, we can use a index value and to access each any of the element from the array, right? So last classes I think I have discussed like how to get the first element of the array, how to get the last element of the array using length property, right? So if length minus one is nothing but it's a last element of the array, right? So see, it's started. So this array length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I want to get last element means it is 4. 4 is nothing but length minus 1, because length is 5 means length minus 1 is 4. So always length minus 1 is nothing but it's a last element of the array, and 0 is always first element of the array, right? So something like that we can check. And we can modify also. If you want to modify a second element, then you can just write array name of square bracket with that index, and if you assign any value to that, it will just replace the previous value on that respective index, and it will just assign the new value. So all those things we have already discussed, right? So this much knowledge I think you have already got on array, right? Fine. So next we will go for so these are the operations and properties. Okay, so these are the methods which you have to get to know, and all different methods have different use case and operations performed on the array. Okay, and their changes to the array, like what changes they are bringing to the array. So all those things are there. Okay, so we'll go through step by step of all these properties and methods and all, and then we will be try to be proficient in the array. Like any problem or anything comes in the array, using these all methods only, you have to think like which method I have to apply on which stage of the problem, so that I'll get this, and then I can apply some other methods to get out of this, and then what is the incoming and what is the outgoing, both you can match together, right? So to get, so in like interview, there will be one problem given to you, and they will ask you like to convert this into some other format inside the array or in the object format. So based on applying to all this method only, you have to achieve. So it's like a game type of things, like you have to apply some of the steps, some of the methods, some of the weapons, we call it as the method, and then based on applying we will get the result, whatever the expected output we have got to display to the interviewer. Okay, so all those things we are going to check. So yeah, so array, as I discussed, like elements are there, right? So in array, see, so there are four operation basically, right? So it's a create, delete, update, and read, right? Or search, we can tell. So creating the element means it's like a adding the element to the array, right? So how to add the element to the array? What are the procedure? What are the method available to add the element? How the way we have to add the element? Whether we have to add anywhere in the array, whether we have to add what is that? Like from the first, from the last, or from the middle, or from any index provided. So those all operations, how many methods are there? Those all methods we are going to check in create operation, okay, of the element in the array. Now next we will move on to how to delete the element from the array. So like element can be deleted from first, from last, or from anywhere inside the array. Okay, or other methods are how to search respective element whether it is present in the array or not. So we can search using based on two three methods are there, we can search. Okay, so based on like index also we can search, based on some element also we can search. So all those things we are going to use it to manipulate or search element inside the array. And some advanced search are also available in the array. Advanced search is nothing but, like let's suppose you have a set of element in the array which is like in between number 1 to 100, but let's suppose you wanted to get multiple of 3 from that array, or you wanted to get greater than 50 from that array. So for that we have some advanced methods are there, okay, in the array. So that we are not going to check in the basic concept, but that advanced topic I have mentioned here at the last, right? So this topic only can be taught when we covered one feature or the concept called callback functions, so which we will see in the future, and then again I'll come back to here and I'll teach this higher order functions. Okay, so some of the advanced concepts are also there, some of the small concepts are also there. So we will check how many way we can iterate over the array, like we can access each element and display on the output. So how many way, like we have just seen one for loop is there, right? Last classes, I think previous classes we have checked, like one for loop is there where we can iterate each element of the array and we can do some operation on the array each time. So that is one thing. So there are different methods are available in the array to do all these operations and all. Okay, and then I think you have seen some bread, right? So how we take some slice from the bread. So if let's suppose the bread will be in the rectangular shape, and then we have to slice one slice inside the bread. So we'll chop two times, right? So if you'll chop one time, two times, then you'll get the center slide. So that slice also you have to get out of the array. Means some of the element from the center, some of the element from some index to some index. So those all things we can get from the array. Okay, so all those things also we have to check based on the method. And these all methods, what is the effect providing to the original array, and whether it is returning the new array or whether it is not returning the new array. So all those things we have to check, okay, in the upcoming slides. So let's start and go through small steps, okay, by adding, deleting, reading, searching, okay, all the things where step by step we'll try to check in the array. Okay, fine, clear everything? Okay. Okay, so first we are going to see the length, like already we have discussed, right? So any array which wherever you will create an array, you have to provide, there will be the length property which can get the total length of the or total count of the element in the array, right? So already we have discussed like creating the array and then writing the array dot length. Okay, array dot length. So same way we are going to check. So I'll just write let ARR. So let's suppose I'm just writing 2567. This is the array. So if you want to find the total length of the array, the screen is visible, right? It's a zoom properly. Is it fine? Okay. So if you want to get the length of the array, then we have dot length property. That is already we have idea, right? So we have already discussed. So if I want to write dot length, we'll get the dot length property. So we'll get the total count of the element in the array, right? So this length property has some more feature it can apply to the array. Like let's suppose if I want to add, let's suppose I want to cut down this array, some length. So if I'll just write array dot length equal to 1. So if I do this, what happens? Like array is having length totally 3, right? It's a total 3. But if I make it array length as 1, that means I'm just telling just make this trunk this array and remove all other element and just make it to 1. So at 1 means array length is 1 is nothing but it's an index 0, right? It's an index 0. So only 0th index will be there and other all element will get deleted. Okay. Let's suppose if you want to make this length as 5. So what happens now? See, you have array, you have only 3 elements over there, right? But we are making forcefully the length as 5. So in that case, what happens? The array will turn to the length 5 and in the place of 4 and 5, it will be empty string or empty data. Okay. So that will happen to the array. So array we can modify using length. Now let's suppose if you want to delete entire element from the array. So if you want to delete entire element from the array, so what we have to do, we have to just write length equal to 0. So when we try to provide length as a 0, so what happens? Nothing means no length means there is no data in the array. So no data in the array means it will delete all the element from the array. Okay, so that is the length property inside the array. Okay, so to get the last element, we already know like we are just doing length minus 1, it will get the last element from the array. And to get the first element, we already know like we can use 0 and then we can get the first element of the array. So all those things are there, right? So to iterate, so basically now let's go and iterate the array. So to iterate the array, already we have seen we have to define uh, one index I and then we have to do, so iterate is nothing but it's like a starting from the first element, you have to iterate each element at a time, so ending to the last element. So last element is nothing but it's a till length, right? So till length minus 1 basically. So if index starts with 0, it should be less than length. Correct? If index starts with 0, it should be less than length, because less than length is nothing but it's the last element. Because if I'll provide less equal to length, then it will come as undefined, because there is no such value on the length property. Like see here 3, in third index there is no value, right? It's a 0, 1, 2. So second is till the second index the values are there. But if I'll write array of 3, that means there is no value. So it will come as undefined. Okay. So either you have to go from 1 to 3 or you have to go from 0 to 2. Okay, so array should be, so I less than array dot length and I plus plus. Okay, so we can do so much operations on the array. If you want to modify or add some new value to the existing element, you can get, or a proper like some print. If you want to just do the printing, you can just do the printing. Okay, so if you want to print both like index, then you can just print I, that is an index. And then if you want to print an array of data of the element, then you can just write array of I, right? So I think the this one didn't get, okay. Okay, so we can iterate over the array, and this is very important. This for loops and all is very important, because any problem will you get, you have to use this for each for loop, and then you have to manipulate to the array. So all those things will be there. Like whenever I'll share you some problems and I'll do some problems on the array, and then I'll explain you like what are all the things I'm going to use. Okay, so let's print this. So once I print, you can see like for each index. So why we need this for loop means, let's suppose if we want to operate each element, access the each element, or you want to perform some each element, some operations on that. So that time we need this looping for the array. Okay. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, so length property. So removing element, if length set is 1 or if length set is 0, it will just empty the array. And there are other way also to empty the array, so which we'll see using the methods. Okay, so using the methods. But here, if let's suppose if you don't want to use any length property, okay, and you just have to empty the element from the array. So in that case, what happens? Just write array equal to empty. In that scenario also, your array will be empty. Okay, your array will be empty. So this is the questions in the interview which you will face in the future. Like they will ask you how many way we can empty the array. So you have to tell using length property setting to 0 we can empty the entire element from the array, or you assigning the square bracket empty square bracket to the array variable. That way also we can delete all the element from the array. Or else one more methods are there, like one more method is available which empty entire data from the array, that we'll see in the upcoming slides. Okay, so some methods are there, some functions are there, methods are there, some function. So functions are available. So if I print here array, you can see, okay, nothing is there because already I have assigned the empty value to the array. Okay, so that is one thing. Now next, so now let's start like add element operations on the array, like how to add element, how to delete element, how to access or search element inside the array. Okay, how to get element out of the respective index. Okay, what are the index of the specific element inside the array. So all those things we'll keep on seeing the thing. Okay, so there are so many methods are available or functions are available which is already inbuilt in the JavaScript. With using that method you can just access, okay, you can just access the sorry, we can just operate the element on the array. Okay, so first is push method. So push method is nothing but it's like a adding element to the array, but it's not like only adding one element at a time in the array. You can add multiple element also in the array, but push method always add element at the last of the array element. Okay, so at the last, not at the first, not at anywhere, but always it puts the data at the last. Okay, at the last. The syntax of push is like either you can pass one element if you want to add only one element at the last, or you can pass comma separated multiple element which you want to add 2 3 element at a time to the array. Okay, so that is one way to add the element. And then push method will modify the original array, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, whenever you are writing any array and if you are doing push operation, that will change the original array. Okay, so this you have to make it very clear. Okay, that will change the original array, and then it returns the new length for that array. Okay, it returns the new length for that array. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, so here we have created one array, right? So we have element. So let's add one more element. So I'll just write array dot push, and I'm just writing either adding one element or either adding multiple elements. So I'll just add some 98 and 78. If you want to add one element, you can add one element. Now, once we do these operations, it will return you the length. Okay, so let res. I'll just write the let res. We don't need to do this. Okay, we don't need to do this let res. But since I'm trying to give you the proper detail, like when we do the push operation, what return it will give you. Okay, what return it will give you, and what is the array effect on based on these operations. Okay, so that we are trying to check. So I'll just write console.log. I'll just write res and array. So let's see what is happening in the array. Okay, so see, after adding the two element, okay, after adding the two element, the push method is returning nothing but it's a returning the length of the array. So see, you can see the length of the array, it is returning the push element, push operation, push method. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Why this is very small thing, like people generally what happens, no, freshers will ignore this all. Like every functions or every method which are available in the JavaScript which you are applying, you have to get to know 3 4 things. I'll just note it down here. One is effect on original array. Okay, that is one thing. Second is return type and data from the methods applied. Okay, so what is the return type of this method what we are applying, and what is it return? What is it returning? Okay, what type of data it's returning? So that you have to check in the this one. Okay, so I think yeah, that is so these are things you have to use, and their syntax you have to check with the syntax. Syntax. Okay, syntax for the method you have to understand. So all these three things you have to understand for every method which you are applying. Okay, so as I told, like we can do push suppression, so it is affecting the original array, right? So original array is having 3 element, and after push it became 5 element, right? So it's changing the original data, original array. Okay, so push suppression always adds data to the last. Okay, always adds data to the last. So that is one thing. Next is, let's go for unshift operation. So just now you have seen we are adding data to the last. So same way we have to add data from the first. So we have one method called unshift which adds data from the first. Okay, data from the first. So if I use unshift, so we can see previously the 98 and 72 was added on the last, right? But now if I execute, you can see 98 and 78 is applied on the first. Okay, so now we understood how to add element from the first, how to add element from the last. Now next we are going to see how to delete element from first and last. Okay, how to delete element from first and last. So we have pop method. Okay, so pop method is nothing but it's a, so see, pop method generally it is not having any parameter, right? See, you can see here in push and unshift method. Okay, there is a element inside the push and shift method, unshift method, right? So there is a parameter assigned to it, right? Syntax. But when we go to pop method, there is no parameter. Why there is no parameter? Can you tell me? Any guess from you both? Why there is no parameter? Why we are not passing the parameter? What is the reason behind it? Any thought? Sorry, sorry. Because see, why we are not adding any parameter to the pop method means, if I write pop method, that always denotes delete the element from the last. So only one element at a time it will delete. It's not like similar to the push element so that you can delete 2, 3 elements from the last. No, no, it will just delete one element from the last. Okay, one element from the last. So that is the reason we no need to provide any parameters. So that's why I told you that time you have to understand three things. One is syntax for the method, like what is the parameter is applying, how is the syntactically how it's we are going to write. So that is the main thing you have to understand for every method, because these are all the, see, now you are seeing only 1, 2 methods, so it's fine for you. But when you learn like a almost, if you complete, once you complete the JavaScript entire concept, no, like JavaScript this course, then in your mind there will be, I think, approx 50 to 60 methods will be there in your mind. So understand, like 50 to 60 method, you have to understand their syntax, you have to understand their uses, you have to understand what effect they are going to apply on the original array, what is the return they are giving. So everything you have to note it down. You have to keep in mind. That is the reason you have to be very focused. Like what is the syntax first? So first you have to focus on syntax. Second, you have to focus on whether it is applying any changes to the original array. And third, what it's returning. What is the type? So sometimes what happens, so like sometimes it will return string type, sometimes it will return object type, sometimes it will return number type. So now see, now it is returning as a number, right? So it's returning length 5, and what is the data it is returning? So that also you have to get, it is returning the data, array data or string data, or it's returning some different thing. Like see, now I'm adding here on shift 2 element, but it's returning the length. Right, so these you have to get to know, like, okay, it's returning the length, not the array, not the data of the array, not the whatever data we are adding, not that data. It's just returning the length. So all these things you have to keep in mind as an experienced developer. Okay, then only whenever you go and get some problem, you will get to know, like, okay, which method I'll apply so that I'll get the achievement of the output. So if you are understanding, proper understanding of each method, then you can add, like, okay, this method. Have you played any time Sudoku? Hard Sudoku? Yeah. So in Sudoku also, no, same thing. Like based on your previous step, no, your like upcoming steps will be defined. See, if let's suppose if you have done some wrong move, or in chase only, if you have done some wrong move, then further move also will be destroyed. So this problem solvings are also like the same way. You can use multiple like a solution, you can use multiple way, but it should be correctly kept mannered way, ordered way, so that really whatever achievement you have to get or whatever format output you have to get, you should able to get. Okay, so all those things you have to be very careful to apply now. Okay, so if you want to understand the method, you will not be able to apply the data. You will be applying anything you will be applying, because see, I can see during my like this journey like career, I've seen like so many juniors what they'll write, like they will somehow solve the problem. See, anyway we have to get the output, means somehow some problem can be solved using two methods also, using or using 10 methods also. But I'll see like maximum people they will solve using 4 5 methods, but which can be solved using 1 2 methods only. So if you have proper knowledge on each method, then you can solve within the smallest code. Okay, so that is called optimized code you have to write. Okay, so till you want to understand the actual all these components and all, like what is effect, what is return type, what is syntax, you want able to apply properly the methods. Okay, so these all things you have to get to know. Fine, everything is clear. Okay. I think you people have some noting down the procedure, right? Because I have heard from her like people used to note down, right, in the class. Okay, okay. I think yeah, but I think no need to note down. It's not a problem. But anyway, if you are noting down, it's fine. Like no issue for that. Okay, so if you tell me like some like what I can tell. Uh, okay, I'll do one thing. Instead of distracting you, okay, I'll just do one thing. If people are noting down, right? So I'll do one thing. I'll just create a docs. Okay. And whatever I'm telling, whatever I'm writing in the VS code, because basically VS code people are basically writing, right? So all, not VS code. Okay. 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 Then fine. Okay. Then tell me if you are any in between anything you got, no? Like, yeah, I have to repeat, then again I'll repeat. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so see the pop I have written. So pop is nothing but it's a deleting element from the last. And this is very confusing. Like, see, one is push. So push, understand, like, yeah, okay, push and pull. We know from the gate of the any restaurant or anywhere. Like, there will be push means, yeah, we are adding something or going inside, something like that. Right? Pull means, yeah, we are pulling. So all those things are there. But this is very confusing. Like, see, when unshift will come. So sometimes what happens if I'll tell you, okay, how to remove element from the array. So you'll tell unshift. Because unshift denotes like unshift. It's like a negative type of word, right? So you will get confused. So you have to be very careful. Like, okay, unshift is nothing but it's a adding element from the first. It's not a removing element from the array. So the word might be different, but you have to focus on these things so that you will not be getting confused on this. So shift and unshift. Maximum time I saw like juniors getting confused between shift and unshift. So shift they will tell like it's a doing adding element to the array, and unshift they will tell like it's a removing element from the array because it's a on. So that is the reason, but it's a opposite word. Okay, so that thing you have to focus mainly. Okay, so see, so pop is nothing but we are just deleting last element. So last element deleting means we can just get see 23 and 45. So see, now previously when you do push, you are getting what? You are getting the length, right? But when you did pop, you are getting which element got deleted. See, it's not giving you the length. It's not giving you the what position or what index it deleted, but it's giving you the element. So pop generally returning you the element which it deleted from the array. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Okay, if you want to be very strong in all the methods. Okay, that is one thing. And it's pop affecting on the original array, because see previously the array was 3 element, but after doing pop on the same array we are getting 2 element. So it's a changing of the length of the original array, right? So now the array, because I have printed here array only, right? So array is now length of 2 and last element got deleted, right? So it's affecting array. Now what is the return type? Return type is number, and what data is returning? It's not returning the length of the array, it's not returning the index of the array, it's returning what is the element it has deleted. So that element it is returning to you. Okay, so these all things you have to keep in mind. So that is pop operation. Okay, Next is shift method. So shift method also does the same, like it's return, it's delete element not from the last but from the first. So this also does not have any parameter in it because it has to delete only one element at a time. It can't delete multiple elements. So either last or first. So using pop, we are deleting the element from the last, and using what is that shift, we are deleting element from the first, right? So same thing again, we'll try to check here. So I'm just doing shift. Okay, so when I'm writing shift, it means like again the array became three element. Don't think like I've already have done pop, nothing like that. Because again the operations is coming from first only. Okay, so yeah, so now if we see, we can get the element 23 which got deleted. Okay, fine. Okay, now tell me one more question. I have one question here, which is having like less performance, whether it is using pop or whether it is using shift. Yeah, means see, let's suppose we have three element right in the array. So I'll just make one more time because this also you have to understand. So 0, right? 1, 2. Okay. So let's suppose I'm deleting using pop. So I deleted this. Left with 0 and 1. Correct? Okay. Now I'm deleting 0. Sorry, 0 means 23. So what happens now? 45 will become 45 will become 0. 67 will become 1. So now with this you are understanding, if I am doing shift method, that is time taking. Because when I use shift method, that means first we have to delete, again we have to reshift the index. Correct. So it's like a multiple operations performing behind the scene. But if I'm using only pop, then nothing is happening, just deleting. There is no change in the other element. Correct. Their index are not getting changed. But if I'm using shift, the index are getting changed. So if I'll do one shift also, all other element will have to change their index. Correct. So basically, so what I'm telling is, until and unless you don't like, you have to like think like really the shift is required. Okay, till it won't like give you the proper like no, without shift we can't do this problem. So at that stage only try to use shift. Okay, because shift with somewhat like performance increasing time. Okay, because of doing some extra operation on the array. Fine, got it? Okay, okay. So this is one thing. Shift is and if it and see, I forgot to define one more. Like let's suppose if you have one empty array, okay, and if I want to shift because there is no element on the array, right? So it will just return you undefined, and it will return empty because nothing is there to shift, right? So if there is no element in the array, and if you want to pop or if you want to shift, then it will just give you the this one. What is that? Undefined. Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. Okay, fine. Okay, okay. So see, till now we have done removing the element from the first, adding the element from the first, removing the element from the to the last, and adding the element to the last. So just we have taken like corner one, but you have not taken in between or wherever if you want to change or shift. Those are things you have not checked, right? So there must be some methods available, right, to do all these things. Correct. So in that case, we will check. So let's stop it for there. Okay. Let's not think about adding or deleting. Let's now think about first we are going to think about how to get the index of the element or how to search whether element is there in the array or not. Okay, so next topic is about how to search whether the element is there in the array or not. Like let's suppose you have this array, right? 10, 20, 30. So I'm just telling you, okay, search whether 30 is some keyword, some key I'll give you. Okay, search 30 inside this array. So whether 30 element is present inside this arrays or not. So that you have to check. So some of the methods are available to search or to iterate over the array to check whether the element which you have provided that is present in the array or not. Okay, so that is next one. So that is index of. Okay, so basically index of is used to get the index data. Okay, it used to give the index of the element, right? But this can be used to search as well. Okay, this index of basically, if interviewer asks you what is index of method, so you have to just tell like index of method takes the element and it just search the index of the element present in the array or not, right? But it's basically used for the searching of element also inside the array. Okay, searching of element. So how it does the searching effect? So first we will go to check with the index, then we'll try to use it for the search. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay. Okay, so I'll just do index of, right? So index of takes the element because you are going to search the element inside the array, correct? So you have to take the element. So element, let's suppose I'm taking, first I'm going for the positive scenario, like, yeah, element is there. So I'll just give the 67. Okay, so 67 at which index the 67 present in the array? 2, right? So it will return the return type as 2. Okay, and it won't change the array because we are searching will not modify the array, right? So it will just give you the, so race I have already printed, so it's fine. Yeah, I'll just print the race. Okay, so it's returning 2, right? So tell me, if there is not matching, then what it's return? It's return not matching. Generally true means 1, false means 0, right? So basically if it's not find, then it will return 0, right? That is our concept, correct? But tell me, if 0 means what? In array 0 is what? Index 0. That is also an index, that is also an element, right? So let's suppose if you think like, okay, let's suppose I'll just write here 69, something like that. Okay, so 69 is not present in the array. Then what is our mind will tell? Mind will tell, okay, it will return 0 because there is no presence of this data. Because generally true, false will think, no? So true means 1, false means 0, right? But at 0 index also some datas are there, right? So that is the reason what JavaScript they have done in index of, whenever you want to get any element inside the array, the element which you are searching for or looking for, that will return always -1. Okay, because 0th also there is a array, there is a data. At 0 position, basically 0 is for false, but at 0 position also datas are there. So that is the reason they have told like in index of will always return -1 when there is no matching or when the element does not present in the array. You can note it down if you want. Okay. Yeah, fine. So you can see here -1, right? -1, correct? Okay. So it's returning -1. So now see, now using this index, what I can do, I can search whether it is present or not. See, whenever I try to search any element in the array, either it should return true or it's return false. That is basically denotes like it's a present or it's not present. But in this index of case, if it is false means it's a -1. Correct? It's a false means it's a -1. But if it is not false means either starting from 0 to any length. Index 0 to any index, right? So 0 is here positive, -1 is negative, means false, right? So if you want to search, this is just giving you the index. But let's suppose if someone will tell you, okay, if the element is present in the array, print like element found. Okay, and if element is not present in the array, print element not found. Something kind of message you have to display, like some scenario you got. Okay, so that how you will do. So you will just delete this. Okay, so they will just give you the key. Okay, they'll give you the key. So let key will be, or element key, whatever it is. So let key will be, let's suppose 67. Okay, first I'm giving the 67 key. So scenario is display the message as element found for matching the element inside the array, or else element not found, right? Element not found, correct? So basically this is the scenario which you have to define. Okay, now let's do. So using index of we are going to do. Okay, so already we know if index of is -1, that means not present, right? But if index of is not -1, that means present, correct? If other than -1, so it will never give you -2, -3, -4, because so many times I saw like what is that phrases like what they'll think like, okay, one more time if I'll do, then it will give -2. One more time if I'll do, it will give -3. No, no, no. It will always give -1. -1 is for false. Other than -1, upgrade of the -1, ahead of the -1 is 0, starting from 0 and all will be index. It's a present. Okay. So what is that means? Like see. So to check, to do this, we have to write like if else condition we are seeing here, right? Like either if found, then do this, else do this. So I'm just checking with the, so we understood like we have to write if condition. So I'm just writing if condition. Okay, don't write now. Okay, I'm just writing if condition. So in if condition, what I'll write? First I'll write array of, okay, array dot index of what? Key, right? So I'll just pass the key, correct? Key. So this will return what? Okay, what is the index? 2, right? It will return true. So but if condition will not work on 2, it will work on either true or false, right? So we have to bind this into conditional operator, right? So what I'll do, I'll tell if not equal to -1, correct? Array dot index is not equal to -1 means what? It present, it's present, means the index is present, right? It means element we found, correct? Element we found. So in this case, what you can write, you can just do log element found, or else what we can write, no need to write if it is not present or something, no need to write, just else condition means it will define. Okay, so just you can write element not found, right? So in this scenario, what will be there? Tell me. Element is found. So if I'll write 68, then element not found, right? So index of basically used for searching the element, right? Even though just is returning only the index, but it can be used as a searching the data inside the array or not, right? But it's giving, but when I add using, what is this? Conditional operator, because we have to do some extra operation, right? Conditional operator we have to do. Anyway, this entire operations is returning you true or false, correct or not? Tell, either it will return true or false. So if you will use index of, you have to do one more operation, that is conditional, correct? Okay, that is one thing. Now keep in mind these things, okay? Like index of, okay? One more operation we have to do, okay? Now similar we have, so index of, so main motto of index of, so I didn't explain only, I just told the search, but main motto of index of I'll tell you. See, I'll delete it as of now, okay? So as we know, it is giving the index of. So one more thing we have to note it down, it how, like how you told like it's a 2, because you are started searching from first, right? You are started searching from first, right? So started searching from first, okay, 0, 1, 2, correct? So let's suppose here it is 67. So still you have started searching from 0, right? Started searching from 0. So basically it's giving you, what is the index now? Tell me. Okay. What is the index? 1, right? 0, 1, because first only it's got and it gave you. Okay. Now let's suppose I don't want to search from first. By default, it is searching from the first, but I don't want to search from the first. I wanted to get 0, 1, 2, 3 as an index. So basically, I have to start searching from the third. right? It's a second element. So index of has one more optional parameter. Like see, only one parameter it has, right? That element. We're just providing array dot index of, and just we are providing one parameter that is called the number, right? The key, basically. So by default, it is starting from the searching from the first. But let's suppose if I want to not, I don't want to start search from first. I want to search based on my index, whatever I'll give the index. So there is an optional second parameter. Either you provide or not provide. If you want provide, it will start from the first. But if you provide, it will start from the same index. So now I wanted to start from 0, 1, 2. So let's suppose I'm providing 2. Right? So now I'm providing 2. So I'm writing the result and I'm just writing the log result. Now it will not start from the 0th index, it will start from the second index. So 0, 1, 2. So now from 2 it will start searching. So which is the index? So it's a third, right? So it has to give third. Got it? So this are also is a very important concept, okay? Because many you will see this type of things. What happens? No, you will see index of in many tutorials you will go, or many websites you will go. You will learn normal like index of they'll use and they'll do, but this type of things they will miss. So you should not miss everything. We have to study like what is extra things, what is this thing. So those all will be helpful for you to solving the problem later. Okay, understood? Okay. So, and one more thing is there. See, index of will always give you the first matching. Correct. Starting from anywhere, either from the first or either from the any index. If let's suppose here I'm writing one more 67, it will never give this one. It will always give the first matching. Either it will give from this or it will give this if I'm going giving the index as this. It will not give this, right? Because it's like a always giving the first matching element index of the key. Fine, that is okay. Okay, now this is the first. Now let's suppose I wanted to get the last index. Now I got first index, first matching index. If I want to get the last index, I have last index of. And all the methods in the JavaScript are camel case. Okay, starting with the small letter, and one word will be separated by capital letter. Okay, this all things I think syntactically she has taught you, like how the variable syntax will be there, how the function syntax will be there. I think all this she has taught you, right? So all these things you have to follow. Okay, so that because why I'm talking all this means in interview or in any problem solving, I saw like so many juniors, what they'll do, they'll just write index of something like, because you people if you want to have idea, no, like okay, all the method names should be like, if word is getting complete one word means next word should start with capital. So if you know that in mind, no, then you will not do mistake. Okay, you will not do mistake. Fine. So understood. So same last index also is also same. Okay. Fine. Got it. So it will give you the last index. So last index is always 47, right? But this also defines like you are starting from when, starting from first, second, last, or some more beyond. It's something like that. You have to check with that. Okay. So I think I have covered last index also. I think time is going to up. Okay. I think, yeah. So yeah, one more last I can just teach. Okay, include. So just now, sometime back, I have defined like when we are searching the element, we have to do one more extra operation, that is index of with comparison operator. Then it's returning true or false. Then your search is complete. Right. So instead of that, you can just use includes method. Okay, includes. So includes method will give you the true or false, either true or false. Direct it will give you true or false, not the index. Okay, so direct will give you true or false. So while comparing, you don't need to compare with again comparison operator. Direct you can use array dot includes. If it is there, it will return true or false. Based on that, condition will happen. If condition, else condition, right? So now this includes will give you either true or false. So see, now it's giving true because key is present, right? If key is not present, it will give you false. If key is not present, it will give you false. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, so this is one thing, and includes also have the same, like starting from where, starting from this and that. Okay, fine. So these all things you have to get to know. Okay, I think that's it for today. I have one more class by 7 o'clock. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just stopping. Okay, okay. Thank you.